So I want you to just think about one formula before we get into tonight's presentation. And it's the formula that I live by for this entire business, all right? And it's a real simple one. S equals M times L. So your success in this business, the S, people want to know this all the time. How can I be successful? Your S is equal to your management competency, how well you run your business. That's the M. Times means it's the multiplier, how well you are effective as a leader, which is to say lead your team. So to be successful in this business, you got to run the business and lead your team, manage your business, lead the team. And so when they do this education on the oils, they're giving you unbelievable input, unbelievable nuggets that you should be taking to do a better job to increase the level of effectiveness in managing your business, because there's so much stuff in there that to help you. Education for your team, education for your customers. How do I really make these oils come alive? Not just my favorite ones. How do I get new favorite ones? What does they look like? That's the kind of stuff you should be looking at so that you can manage your business better, grow your business, etc. Tonight, and what I tend to focus is on the L side, leading your team. And tonight, I'm going to talk about passion for your business. It was appropriate on Valentine's Day. I didn't really know what I was going to talk about, but the title came up real quickly. And of course, that means my wife is in the other room saying, why are we not going out to dinner? Because I want to do this presentation. No. It's because we went out to dinner beforehand. So hold on one second. I'm going to share my screen. And when I share it, the little mice are going. And I'm just one, oh, there we go. Okay, they pop up these guys, put these guys over the, put you, my picture over the right. All right, you should see this big old screen. This is passion for your business. Now, if you are just starting, if you are just trying to get to that next level, or you're trying to resurrect your business from a stall, or worse, perhaps you've had a little bit of a fire and you're trying to get it back out. You can't do anything unless you reignite the passion you have for doing this business. So I'm going to focus about your business tonight. You already heard an incredible discussion on on the oils. So I'm not going to talk about oils. I'm talking about the business and why that's important. And if we don't have a business, how do we actually get oils in other people's hands? So the business is tied lockstep with doing the oils. But I'm going to talk about getting that passion back, getting that fire back. All right. So let's see if I just press on this. It should go to the next screen, and it does. Okay. Why have I lost the fire? Now, a couple of comments here. Number one, these are just my thoughts, just my comments. Every single person on this call owns their own business. I'm really, really big on ownership. What that means is that it's your business. I don't care who gets on this call. I don't care if I'm a diamond. I don't care that I'm a certified leadership coach by the John Maxwell team. I don't care if I've been doing this for how many years. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm going to give you my advice, I'm going to give you my counsel. You always have to take whatever any of us say and apply it to your own business. You've got to find that place that's going to make a difference to you. Okay, so and that's part of having the passion, right? Because it has to be your passion. I can be excited. I can have that loud voice, that fast voice. I could be from New York. It doesn't matter. You've got to find the passion you have for your business. All right. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. These are not the only reasons why you may have lost the fire, but it's the primary ones, to be honest with you. So why have you lost the fire? Why have you lost that passion? There's two primary reasons. The first one is if you've been disconnected from your goals. You've lost that connection as to what am I really trying to accomplish? Why am I doing this business? And when you don't have that, that driver, in other words, there's nothing, gosh, I don't know what I'm shooting for. Why would you get excited? The second, and the one that we're going to talk mostly about tonight, is that you don't have any recent wins. We're coming, it's the day after Super Bowl. Let me tell you, the people that, the Rams that won yesterday have got a boatload of passion for next season. They just won the Super Bowl. They can't wait for next season. Right after the party and everything's done, they can't wait to get next season because there's nothing like winning 2 Super Bowls than winning 1. So there's just guys out there that can't wait for that to happen. Well, when's the last Super Bowl that you all won? And if it has been a while, okay, when's the last time that you signed up to a new brand partner? When's the last time you signed up someone to buy a large order? Not just a $50, not the $35 kit, but $100, 100 PV or 300 or 500 PV. When was the last time? So when you haven't had one recently, I'm going to just tell you, you're kind of like, it feels like mud. It feels like I'm just pulling the entire weight. I've got my entire team's on my shoulder and you're moving forward. That would cause anyone to lose some of your passion. So I don't want you to feel alone. I don't want you to feel that you're being, that you're being picked on right now. Almost all of us in this business at one time or another lose their passion. So what you really want to know is, how do I get it back? Right? Because that's the most important thing you're trying to accomplish right now. So there's two things I'm going to talk about. One, we're going to go back to the drawing board, or if you will, the dream board might be a good way to put it. And we're going to talk about getting a win under our belts. All right. All right. First one, what's my goal? Now, I will tell you that I have talked to, no exaggeration, over 1,000 Young Living people in doing my coaching business. And they're over 80% of them, there's two things that they talk about as to why they're doing this business. One is financial freedom, and the other one is time freedom. And the third one, which is the other 20%, is they want to change lives. So just think about this. This is why people are doing the business. But you've got to look at the really big picture for a second. Remember, this isn't just Gary's edict. This is something we all really want to do. We actually want to get oils in every home. I want to be part of that. I want to be part of changing the entire world, right? I want to be part of changing lives. And that is, most of the people that I meet that are in Young Living, that's what they're in there for. Oh, by the way, I also want to build a business that's going to change my family's future. And I will tell you, I'm sitting in a home right now that Young Living helped to buy. And some of you are doing that as well. And some of you are wishing that they could be in this home. Well, let's talk about what it would take to build that kind of business that can pay for your car, pay for the mortgage in your house, pay for a new house, pay for your college education for your kids. But you've got to reestablish that connection to what that goal is. If you don't have that strong connection to your why, to the purpose, it's extremely difficult to have a passion for your business. And what happens is you can be disciplined, which is great, but there's no energy, there's no positivity coming from you. So when people are interacting with you, you may come across as someone who's knowledgeable, knows your oils, etc., but there's no connection with them on an emotional level because there isn't any coming from you. So you have to re-engage your passion to do that. And this is the first thing you have to do. And for those of you who have not done your why recently or haven't looked at it recently, I really encourage you tonight is to really make a difference by just asking, what's my why? Which is to say, why am I doing this business? If you don't have an answer to this question, you don't need to listen to the rest of my discussion because it's based upon having a why. It's based upon having a direction and a purpose in what you're doing. And you've got to have one. Now, let's assume that you have one, or that you're creating one, or you're adjusting one, or you're modifying the one you have. Let's assume that that's the case. So what I want to talk to tonight, and by the way, there are dream boards, there's the 7 whys. There's so many people that are probably better at getting your why than I am. So that, please don't stop. If you don't have one, go after it. But I'm going to assume that tonight you either have one, or you're working on one, or you're moving towards one. What I want to help you with is what I consider the biggest thing that really makes a difference, which is I want to get a new win. I want to get something back to happen. I want to get some people signed up. I want to have an enrollment. I want to have people buy more oils. I want people to get more people on Subscribe to Save. I want to have some wins. And I'm just telling you now, there's nothing more exciting to a baseball player than to get a hit. There's nothing more exciting to a football player than to score a touchdown. Well, I'm going to use a couple of really ugly 4-letter words here, and people have heard me tell this story before. In the organization chart in Salt Lake City at Young Living headquarters, there's an org chart, and it has your name on it. Now, this, I know you think of yourselves as business owners, distributors, brand partners, customers, all those things are true. But on the org chart, right next to your name, it says sales rep. From their perspective, they being Young Living, what's the real purpose that you're a part of this organization? To sell oils. Now, I said that I used that 4-letter word. I want to talk about selling tonight. I'm going to talk about that because if you're a sales rep, guess what the most amazing, most incredible get a win under your belt looks like? To sell some oils. So what does that look like? So I'm just going to talk about a very, very simple process, right? Very simple. Share, ask, close, right? And I don't think anyone's ever said it quite this way. Share, ask, close. Now, I still start with the way that we do all of our business here. I'm not selling a used car. I'm literally trying to share my life, my experience. What was that oil that made me change? What was that oil that brought me on board? What are the things that my family uses? How are their lives changed? I want to share my story. I really want to encourage you now. You have to share compliantly. Make sure you're doing it in the right place, the right way. If you have any doubts whatsoever on how to share, there are several books on the topic. And most importantly, talk to your uplines. Make sure that you know how to share your story in a compliant way with passion, energy, genuineness, and vulnerability, transparency. Let them know that this is who you are. In other words, you're really sharing your story with oils. That is it's a game changer to engaging with the world as to what happens next. But I'm going to share this really, really difficult dynamic. Nothing happens when you share. Now, you've started the process, but nothing happens yet. They've heard your story. Some of them even might be compelled to take some kind of action, but nothing happens until you go to the next step in the sales process. You have to ask them. You literally have to ask. In the sales business, you have to ask for the order. If you're talking to someone who's deciding whether they want to be a brand partner, you have to ask them if they want to go ahead. You have to ask them. I am from New York, and we have a saying in New York, if you've ever had to sell on the streets there, really simple. Don't ask, don't get. It can't get any simpler. New Yorkers are pretty simple. Don't ask, don't get. If you're not selling oils, if you're not getting people to go from customer to brand partner, it almost always because you are not asking either at all or the right way. So we're going to talk about the ask process as well. So wait a second. So I've shared my story. I've actually asked them to do something. And then there's this really difficult phrase, because I know this is hard again. Again, nothing has happened until you close. My son is a sales executive, and he'll talk about his pipeline, lots of deals he's got going. And he'll tell me about a really big deal he's got going. I said, how'd that go? And he goes, well, it looks like they're going to sign the contract. And then there's a long pause. But Dad, nothing happens till there's ink on the paper. So he can talk all day long. And he knows this. He can talk all day long about how wonderful the contract would look. But until the customer signs the piece of paper, they don't have a deal. So you've done all this energy to share. You've done a one-on-one class. You've done a video. You've done 14 coffees with this person. You've asked them to buy oils. But until they actually put their fingers on the keyboard and sign up, nothing has happened. Now remember, let's go back for a second. See if I can do this. Remember what we said. Oh, that was where I wanted to be. Remember what I said. We want to get oils in every home. We want to change lives. We want to build a business that will change my family's future, right? That's what we want to have happen. If they don't buy, none of that will happen. I can't get any more straightforward, any more simple than what I just said. If they don't buy, none of this happens. If they don't become a brand partner, you will not build a single organization. There will be no legs. There'll be no downline. There'll be nothing on your team. So if someone doesn't hear your story, get asked by you, and actually say yes, nothing changes. So if the whole purpose is I want to get some passion back in my business, let's go sell some stuff. Let's make something happen. Well, how do I do that? All right, let's talk about selling. Oh boy, I know. I mean, I said right up, I'm not going to fool around. This is the real stuff. We're talking about selling. I know we weren't talking about sharing, but I'm talking about selling. So first, it's all about them. This is all about the other person. I know that you think sometimes people are only worried about their contracts. They're only worried about their commission level. They're only worried about their OGV, their PGV. When you are selling, there's only one thing that is important to you. What the other person, what is their need? How am I going to add value to them? Because if they don't feel like there's some kind of value being added to their lives, why would they buy? I mean, really, why would they buy? You have to really be intuitive. You have to really look inside. Where is the customer at every step of the stage? So when you're doing a one-on-one class and there's 10 people either in the room or in the virtual room, you've got to be extremely intuitive. Where are they? Are they listening? Are they engaging? When Jill was talking about having a whole bunch of people on chat, right? Are things happening? Which, by the way, I've got 24 things going on in chat. I'm not reading a single one, just so everybody knows, but I will go back. But what's happening? Are people interacting with you or are they not? You're at the end and you're asking, gosh, if you'd like to buy some oils or if you'd like to buy a kit, please come and see me. And no one shows up. No one comes there. You were not engaging with them. Something that you said to them did not trigger a need for what you were offering. I'm just getting down to the basics. I know that we're talking about things that change people's lives, but they still have to pay money for it. Here's a great quote. It's not something you do to someone, it's something you do for someone. We're in this business because we're trying to help people. And to help them, we have to engage with them. If we engage them, we have to interact with them, but we have to offer something of value. Now, what is this whole process of selling? It's a process of asks and commitments. So what are the two largest mistakes that you make when we're talking about this ask now, right? The first one is actually, they should be reversed in order. I'm going to write that down. The biggest thing we do, the mistake in this business, is we don't ask at all. It is so common. I see over and over and over again, or people you'll talk to me, they cannot ask the question. I recently was with some people and they were just trying to formulate in their minds, how do I ask the question to become a brand partner? And so we were just doing some role playing. And once they got past the question, they were phenomenal. They could handle every single objection, every single question. They were incredible. It took us 5 times to where they could just ask the question, would you like to be a brand partner? I know that sounds like a relatively simple question. It took them 5 times to ask that question to where it actually sounded genuine, real, authentic. They weren't afraid. They weren't being embarrassed. They were not overwhelming you. It took 5 times to practice just to get to, would you like to be a brand partner? Now, I know I'm saying it simple. It sounds like it's rolling off my tongue. Most of us in this business don't ever ask. Then the second thing is we ask too soon. They've walked in, these oils are obviously phenomenal. The diffusers, there's 4 diffusers going on in the room. You should want to buy oils and you've just walked in the room, right? So they ask too soon. Now, most people don't do that, but that does happen in the world. It does happen more often with brand partners, by the way, than it does with oils. So I'm talking about 2 different asks here. One is an ask to help people to buy oils. The other one is to ask them to become a brand partner. More people ask the brand partner question too soon than the oil one too soon. Just so we're clear that. But these are the 2 biggest things. So one of the things you have to really take away from this teaching tonight, when I talk with people about the oils in the business, where is my ask? What does it look like? How is it framed? How is it phrased? When you read Sarah Harnish's scripts on how to do all these classes, she's got the word ask, and she's got the ask in there. But a lot of people I don't like the way she did that. I don't like her wording. They change it, take it out. I'm not kidding. You'd be shocked the number of times that they actually take it out and don't ever ask. At the end of the day, if you don't ask for the business, please, please, please don't be surprised when you don't get it. So what do we got to do to make this change? All right, let's get to some sales commitments. By the way, this is from one of my mentors, Anthony Iannarino, The Lost Art of Closing. All right, so sales commitment. Think about this. I want to get a commitment for time, for change, for collaboration, for investment, money, resolving concerns, and a commitment to decide. I'm going to go through each one of these, but I am actually treating you like sales professionals tonight, because that's exactly what you are. And let me give you the definition of sales professional. Someone who makes their living selling. Someone who makes their living selling is a sales professional. Now, I know you didn't want to call yourself that, and I'm not trying to be negative or mean to you, but that's what you are. You are a sales professional. So why don't we not look at it? So what do sales professionals do? Well, they actually get commitments from people. So what the first one? And not that way, the other way. All right, commitment for time. This is your open, and you don't get anything until you get people to commit. So when Amanda and Jill do the promo notes for this Monday night, they're asking for people's commitment for time. And if the people don't commit to the time, which is to say they don't show up, they didn't hear this. Or when you have a class, you all know this, if you're having a class or an event or you're having something and no one shows up, I will tell you that you will not sell to anyone because there's no one there. So the first thing you have to do, and this can easily be the hardest thing to do, is you have to get people to make a commitment to time. So whatever you're doing, to whatever event, whatever way that you're trying to articulate the value of the oils in the business, you've got to get them to commit to a time. Now, what I like doing when I'm trying to get this commitment, I like making sure that they know that that's what I'm going to ask. I don't want the commitment for time. This is not the ask, right? I'm just trying to get a commitment for time. I want to make sure they know early on, I'm going to be asking for a coffee meeting. I'm going to be asking them to come to a presentation. Expect and prepare for a no, because they don't want to commit their time. Promise value. Promise them value without some pitch, right? They don't need to hear a sales pitch. They need to hear, this is the share part. You want to share with them how valuable these are so that they will come to listen to a presentation, some form of communication where you're going to show them real value. Here's a hard one. Ask again and again and again. I know you've heard that people use the phrase accept and ask. People will get asked 7 times before they actually show up. Lower the commitment level. Don't make it a 3-hour lunch and learn. Don't make it so long that they can't make that commitment. Make it as short as you can, where you know you're going to still deliver value in the discussion. Promise not to waste their time. You do these little tips on the side, and you're going to start getting people to make a commitment for time. By the way, all they've done is make a commitment for time. This business is, as every sales function is part transactional and part consultative. The transactional side is to get them to commit to the time. The consultative side is when you actually get their time, what are you going to say? But it is not common that people will buy oil in a single transactional moment. You're in the grocery line, you say, hey, I know you should coffee, here's some cough drops. Would you like to buy oils from me and become a Young Living distributor? Generally doesn't happen that way. So most of the time, there's some level of communication and follow-up to get this thing to happen. It starts with a commitment for time. And you got to be able to articulate those tips I just talked about, all right? Next thing is there's got to be a commitment to change. Just think about this, right? We're in the health and wellness side of the business. I don't want to surprise anyone, but we're asking people to change their lifestyle. They're doing something that doesn't include oils today, and you want them to do something that does include oils. That's called a change. And you've got to introduce that. By the way, they actually have to want to change, because otherwise, and we know people have done this, and I know that it doesn't quite fit today's world of our single oils, but it used to be the phrase called one kit wonder. Even if you're a great salesperson and you get people to buy a kit, but if that's all they ever buy, you still haven't really done a good job of actually transferring value to them and changing their life. So we're not trying to get a one kit wonder just because we're so good at offering the value and why oils are good. We really want to make sure that when they're going to introduce oils into their lives, they're going to change the way they and their families and their friends interact with their health and wellness by using essential oils. They have to be willing to commit to making that change, or this is going to be a very difficult sale. And again, I'm trying to help you that what we're trying to do is we want to introduce a sale that really hammers home there's huge value, get them to introduce it to their own lifestyle, make a change in the lifestyle, hold on to the change in the lifestyle, and forever have their life changed, which is what you really want to have happen. That's the real secret, right? You want to make, that's the process, because then those are the people that are going to get on subscribe to save. Those are the people that are going to want to, wow, this changed my life in so many ways. I want to be a part of changing other people's lives, which is to say, these are the people that have become brand partners. It all happens when there's a commitment to change. Okay, expect resistance. There are no easy sales anymore. They are getting bombarded by MLMs every which way but loose. I don't need to list any names. You already know all of them. Some of them have value, some don't. Doesn't matter. Some are better salespeople than you. Doesn't matter. They're just getting bombarded. You have to expect there's nothing easy anymore. Remember, they don't really know you that well. If you go outside your warm market, if you're in the cold market at all, you have to really reveal what the real issues are. What is it the oils are going to help them to change? By the way, don't make any assumptions. Ask lots of open-ended questions. Don't ask closed-ended questions. Try to ask open-ended questions and find out who they are and the challenges that they're going through. Not only is it hard to make change, but they have to see you, how have you changed it? So typical guy, you want me to make a change for my practice as well. On my desk there's about 15 oils literally within my arm's length. And then there's a diffuser, got to clean that though. And I've got some CBD muscle rub, and a bunch of some hand cleanser. Oh my gosh, just a bunch of stuff within my hand's reach. I've changed my lifestyle to include it. I'll be doing a alkaline drink later. Had a little bit too much to eat tonight. And I'm just talking about the things that I do every single day. No change. And want to tell you, I know we talked about they have lots of other options, but guess what the biggest enemy to you is? The biggest enemy to you is no change at all. The second biggest may be that other competitor, but the biggest one is for them not to make any change at all. So you have to really get them into position. What is holding them back from making a change? What do I have to do to engage the oils with them so that they will see that the change is going to be worthwhile? So remember now, we've done a commitment of time. We got to get them to commit to having a discussion with us. And during the discussion, we have to get them to commit to change. This process right now, what I'm doing right now is I'm showing you this is how professional salespeople get deals. Now, by the way, I'm not just talking about $5 deals, $500, $5,000, $5 million deals. I've used this. This is how I've made large deals happen. And you have to do this. The only difference between big deals and small deals, there's more people involved in the decision. You got to do the same process. When you're doing larger deals, you just have to get more people have to agree to it. And there's more committees involved. But you just try to get people to go to this to change. All right, what's the next thing we got to do? We have to get them to collaborate. See, once they've introduced this concept of change into them, they have to start talking about, wait a second, I have to customize this discussion to my needs. They have to talk with me. We have to start collaborating and discussing and engaging on what their real issues are. Oh, by the way, open-ended questions are critical. I got through this business by way of Digest and Peppermint. Not every person gets through the business because of Digest and Peppermint. And yeah, we already had one discussion about my stomach. This will be the second one. You've got to find out where is their area of need, and then you've got to talk with them. You've got to dialogue with them. Getting them to talk about their needs is the critical component. Don't try to sell every oil. You want to get them to collaborate with you. Try to find what they're looking for. By the way, don't sell them your favorite oil. Remember, it's about them, not about you. You can use your favorite oil as an example when you're sharing your story, but don't push that on them. Otherwise, everyone's going to end up with peppermint, and it may not help them at all. And in fact, today I took an allergy pill, and I don't like peppermint, by the way. And so the recipe called for 2 drops of peppermint, which I knew better to only put 1 in, but one of those extra drops escaped into the pill. And my stomach is kicking on me right now just because of the 1 extra drop of peppermint. So don't push that on them. Find out what they're trying to do. This is the collaboration. This is the discussion stage. Understanding their needs. By the way, you want a long-term relationship. This is not about trying to sell them, get them on, get the order in and get them unsubscribed to Safeway, bye-bye. That's not how you treat customers. That's not how you want to be treated. So collaboration is key. All right, let's keep on going. Oh boy, commitment to invest. What a fancy way for they got to be willing to part with money. Now, as great as Gary was, as great as Young Living is, I'm going to give you this really harsh truth. They don't give away the product for free. Now, I know there's all sorts of deals going out there and things you get when you hit certain levels, but the basic level of this, the basic nature of this relationship is they've got oils that they had to grow, harvest, and distill, and we have money. And the only way that this thing happens is I give them money to get the oils. I know you think I'm making this up, right? If it doesn't happen this way, nothing's going to happen. So now you got money in the line. Oh my gosh. How do I get them to make a commitment to invest into the change that they want? Remember, we just got done getting them to actually be willing to admit they're going to change their habits, but you've got to get them to now put money where their mouth is. So they're going to have to invest time, energy, and money, which kind of helps by it's not just money. Think about it. You've got to start, once you've got into oils, you didn't just sit there. You had to do the research. You had to constantly ask the question, that combination didn't work for me. Is there another way? Gosh, I was reading when they were doing, when Jill was speaking, somebody was taking, and I forget what, white Angelica, they couldn't do white Angelica. Well, what are some other ways to replace the effectiveness of white Angelica? Well, there are different oils that can help get you there, but you have to pursue that. You have to be doing that. So time, energy, and money. Here's the other one. Don't hide the price during the discussion. Another common mistake that we make is that we bring up the price at the end instead of trying to bring up the price early on. When you all know how this works when you shop for cars, you want to know the price of the car early on. They want to keep it a secret to the very end. Oh my gosh, what a terrible game. And the only thing that ever happens is I will never go back to a dealer again. How many times have we all said that? Well, we only go back when we're forced to, or we haven't figured out how to work the car Zoom dealers that bring the car to your house now. The reality is that you have to bring up what it's going to cost early on. That makes a big, big difference. Remember that you're trying to associate price and value as often as possible. One of the things we talk about ditch and switch, and the reason we do that is, I know it has kind of a negative connotation, but here's the deal. Here's what you're buying now. You're spending $312 on these products. I can get you the exact same, if not similar, if not better results for $248, and it's all natural. Now, I didn't say for free. I didn't say for 12 cents. I didn't say for $12. It's still going to be comparable in price, but you're telling them to switch their buying to get the same benefits even more. We don't have the budget throw you off. As you already know, that's the very principle behind ditch and switch. They're already spending this money. They're already spending money right now on their health and wellness. They're just spending it poorly. You're there to help them spend it wisely. Don't let I get oils that cheaper at Walmart and Target. Don't let that throw you off. You all should be prepared instantly in what's in those bottles. What are you actually buying? If you think you're actually buying for wellness, you're not. You're just buying for money, and I can help you to do both. Again, about the money. Introduce the price as soon as you can. Earlier the better. Often is better. It's okay. Repeat it over and over again. You think you're bothering them? You're not. In their minds, they know that for 190, for 200, they know exactly what's on the table and what they're looking at. If you hold it off, all you do is scare them later on. So now they get to the point like, this is going to cost me what? And you've now spent 5 hours talking to them, and now you share price. Rarely does that go well, right? All right, let's keep going. Commitment to resolve concerns. This is in sales language, overcoming objections, all right? What you're trying to do is just think about this. Again, I love putting myself back in that place. I'll never forget the first time we were buying our kit. Actually, like the second time. The first time I'm going to be very supportive of my wife, but the second time I said, we're buying this again. What? And we're spending how much money? You have to be willing to go through what are their fears? What are their concerns? You just need to listen to what they have to say. And again, this is the part where you have to trust yourself. It is highly likely that most of you are able to answer almost every question you're going to get. You just have to be empathetic. You have to be strong, knowledgeable, responsive. You have to be there. You have to really make sure that they see you as a real partner. And when those few times occur when you don't know the answer, you say honestly, I will get that answer for you. And it becomes the highest priority on your to-do list. You go and you call your upline, you call the customer service, you get the answer. So now these people actually think, novel concept, that you actually care about them because you answered their question. But this is really about helping to resolve their fears and concern, to overcome their objections, because that's what professional salespeople do. All right, keep on trucking. Here comes the big one. Now, remember, what did I say? I'm going to condense this whole thing. Remember, it was share, ask, close. Share, ask, close, right? It's the new way to look at this process. It's really, really straightforward and simple. Share, ask, close. This is the close part, the commitment to decide. All right, you've already asked them, but now you're going to reinforce the ask. Why? I mean, you're going to ask for the purchase or the decision. I say that because for people that are trying to be business partners. Oh my gosh, restate all the value you've already done before. Tell them everything that you said before. Don't skip anything. Make sure you go through each one of these. Remind them of how their concerns were addressed. Let them know that you answered all their questions, because you did. Bring back the benefits. Here, not just the value that they're getting, but also the benefits of doing this. Ask for the purchase. And oh, by the way, once you do that, ask them to join Subscribe to Save. Ask them if they're interested in doing the business. In the old days, we would do, oh no, let's just get them to buy oils. Let's have them fall in love with the oils for 6 months, and then we might ask them to do more. New days. So when you're doing these one-on-one classes, you should literally have 3 asks in your class right now. You should have an ask for them to buy oils, an ask them to join Subscribe to Save, and an ask to join the business. You should have all 3 of those asks in every single time you do any kind of preliminary business, a preliminary event or class. I know this is going to sound very foreign to all of you, but you cannot let that keep you back, because you're competing in this marketplace. Other people have already asked them to do all that. Are you kidding? Amazon is asking me to do the Subscribe to Save right now. And it starts with simple, like I just need to get some thing for my packaging. And all of a sudden they're starting to ask about cleaning supply. They're just, I'm getting some different kind of vitamins that Young Living doesn't have. And then they start asking for other vitamins. So it's so simple that there's other people asking for my subscription, but I'm not asking for it. Of course I need to. Now, you do have to be intuitive, which means you got to make sure that you know how to do it. And you have to be brave. A couple other things you need to do. When you ask people, ask them the way that you would want to be asked, with the level of empathy, the level of concern, the level of just care and love. Make it time bound. By the way, I'm not talking about the television. This offer is only good for the next 5 minutes, but make it time bound. Here's what I mean. You're going to be following back up with them, right? Be prepared for a no. I'll go back to the follow-up in a second, but be prepared for a no, because there are going to be some people say no, and you do not just say, oh, that's okay. Ask them straight up, what concern did we miss? What question did we not answer? What value did you not believe in or did not hear? What benefit wasn't a benefit to you, or what benefit were you looking for? Ask them. Find out. Now, by the way, because no one's perfect, maybe you missed it. Oh, by the way, maybe they look for something that we don't do, which also can happen. So that's okay. I mean, just find out from them what they're looking for. But I want to go back to the follow-up for a second. So I was talking about the share, ask, and close. I am talking about your business model. And one of the things that I'll talk about at the end is my book called The 5 Pillars, and it talks about share and follow-up. And here's the reason why. Because it is a multi-transactional process, usually there's a situation where you're sharing oils and the benefits and the value to someone. And then there's a period of time, like many of them people don't buy at that moment, and some do. Praise God that they do, but many don't. So that second part is where you do follow-up. So when I meet someone, in the passage of a particular day, and I do get their contact information, I will follow up that day 100% of the time. Thank you so much for seeing me today. I'm so glad we had a chance to knock into each other at the coffee shop. I know you expressed some interest in the oils. Would love to get together with you and talk further. I follow up the same day. Now, if they don't respond to that, I give them 3 days and I follow up again. So same day, 3 days. And then on the third day, they don't follow me again. I follow up at the end of the week. So I do 1, same, 3, and 7. Now, by the way, that means I've tried talking to them 3 times already. I usually at that point will skip a week or so. I always make sure that I get them within a 30-day window again. So they're going to get followed up with me at least 4 times. There's different follow-up patterns. I also know the 1, 3, 7, and 10, the 1, 3, 10, and 30. Here's the deal. You got to figure out what is most important for you, but you've got to have a system to do follow-up. You have to have a process, whether it's a spreadsheet, a piece of paper, whatever it looks like, so that you know, here are the people that I need to follow up with and when. I'm sorry, did I not tell you that you are professional salespeople? This is what professional salespeople do. The ones that don't do this are neither professional nor are they long to be salespeople. Because you lose track of who you've talked with. Guys, did I send Mary a note again? You don't remember. And guess what happens? Mary didn't get a second note. And Mary didn't get followed up on. And she was actually interested in oils. She didn't hear from me for 2 weeks. She went bye-bye. And she either went and got oil someplace else or just went to a different perspective, went to something different for health and wellness. Whose fault really was that? Hers or yours? Hers for making a quote unquote bad decision, or yours for not helping her? Let me tell you, it was your fault. You weren't there for her. Okay. So this commitment to decide is the really, really big deal. All right. So selling, it's really all about them bringing value to the game. Make sure you're asking for commitments. And by the way, we just talked about those commitments, and you're asking them to make a decision. This is what this game is all about. Now, I do want to do one other thing. Again, now that I'm talking to professional salespeople, I'm going to tell you what the absolute best sales training on the planet is, and that is role plays. This is what salespeople do over and over and over again, so that they are not confused. They don't have trouble repeating things. They know what they want to say. They just role play all the time. So on our team, we just do this all the time, and to the point where I drive people nuts. I'm not kidding. I was on a call with some people the other night, and this one person, she had to repeat to me, how would you like to do the business 5 times in a row? And I would say, with more emotion, make it shorter, a little more transparency. I'm not kidding, 5 times in a row. And I was driving her nuts. But you know what happened by the 5th time? She could say, would you like to do this business, with an incredible level of transparency, genuineness. I mean, I want to do the business on the 5th time. But we don't practice. So we just assume that the oils are going to sell themselves. And sometimes that happens. Most times it doesn't. People buy from people. Yeah, I know they also buy products, and that happens. That's great. But in the meantime, what are you doing? So I like to do all these situations, the grocery, the doctor, the Little League, one-on-one class, vendor event. I like to do as many different places as I can to try to get people just to practice. And I know that it's unsettling. For those of you that have been in my Downline Leadership Program, I take role plays very seriously. I have 2 participants. I have the actress and the participant. The actress is always trying to get an Emmy, and they're always over the top. And here's the real reason, real simple, that in normal day-to-day world, you're lifting 10 pounds. I tell the actress, I want you to make her lift 25 pounds. So why are you putting so much pain and torture on the other person? If they can lift 25, 10 pounds is easy. And if someone has a problem at 15 pounds, still easy. That's why we do role play, so that when you get in the real world, you can handle any objections, any problems, any issues, and you can rock it. All right? All this is about making a difference of, how do I figure out, I want to get my passion back in my business. I got to really connect with my why, but man, I just need to sell some stuff. If I can sell some stuff, if I can get new enrollments, if I can get some of my customers to up their order, if I can get some of the customers to go on and subscribe to Save, I'm telling you that win will help to bring passion back to your business. Because you know what you're going to do when you have a good February? You're going to want to have a better March. And what are you going to do if you had a lousy January? Well, let's turn it around and have a better February. What if February's not going that great? I got 2 weeks left in the month. What am I going to do with the last 2 weeks? It's exactly 2 weeks left. What am I going to do these last 2 weeks? What am I going to do to make a difference? More enrollments, more OGV, more PGV, more shifts of transitions from customers to brand partners. What am I going to do to make that happen? And what am I going to do to help my team capture the same fire that I just described? What am I going to do? All right, last shameless plug. There's my name. You can get to my website. Many of you have tried to connect with me on Messenger, even while I've been talking. I'm going to stop sharing a second. I talked about the 5 pillars. This is how, remember I talked about management and leadership. This is our management book. The leadership book, which many of you have seen, I won't bore you with having a copy around here somewhere of Downline Leadership. Anyway, this is the management book. And it's just the 5 pillars on how to run your business, which is share, follow up, educate, serve, and build. I am currently working on a mastermind group facilitator guides, which I'm going to actually hand out for free, I think, so that you could actually do your own mastermind group with your own team. How would you take people through 5 weeks of how to share, et cetera? You can imagine what the homework looks like. Okay, this week, share with 3 people. And they have to come back next week and say how they shared. That's what we're going to do. All right, let me stop sharing. And which means of the 85 comments that are out there, which I have not seen, so forgive me. Okay, so nice people are saying good things. That's great. Let me talk about sales just for a second. I want any questions that you have on, and I know I'm using these ugly words. Yes, I can say the word share too, but I really want to transfer money from their pocket to Young Living's, and I make money off of that. You understand that's the role? If they give money to Young Living, I get a commission. I don't want this to be a mystery. Yes, the comp plan is more sophisticated than that, but let me tell you how it works. When money transfers, you make money. If money doesn't transfer, guess how much you make? 0. So guess what you want to be about? Getting money to shift hands. And how do you do that? You have to provide value. You have to do those things. All right. So what are some things I can find pretty well, but my follow-up was weak. Oh my God, Cynthia. We had one person who in her first year enrolled over 100 people. And she was a star. And you're going, how is it possible if she enrolled 100 people that she's only a star? Never followed up with any of them. Just assumed that if you bought your kit, the word would be good. And that was actually, by the way, our fault for not having taught that. Instead, what we just spent time and energy on was what it meant to follow up. Follow up is actually putting your heart on the table. Sharing is putting your life on the table. I want to differentiate. When you share, you put your life on the table. But when you follow up, it's your heart that goes on the table. And that's a big deal. That's the big deal. And that's why people resonate with follow-up. Now, they will resonate with you putting your life on the table. That's why sharing is so powerful. But they really resonate when they see your heart. And it's harder to do that. Yeah, I like that, Jamie. No one apologizes for making a sale. You know, here's the thing that's really cool. We sell good stuff. So when you sell good stuff, why would you ever be embarrassed for selling good stuff? You should never be embarrassed for the price that we charge for selling good stuff. You should never be embarrassed that it might be more expensive than another oil, ever. Because you know there's a 98% chance that they adulterated the other bottle with something. And it didn't come through your seed to seal process. So your product is worth every penny that you charge for. Now, I know that means that not everybody can actually buy every single product we have one time. Love that, Neil. I'm proud to be a salesman. Love that. That's exactly the way we're supposed to be. I'm just trying to put it into simple terms. I want you to be out there sharing, but you got to be selling. That means you have to make the ask and you have to close the deal. Someone has to say yes to your ask and sign up. Remember in the old days when you just sit there in your teams and just go nuts every time someone had an enrollment? I don't think we've done that. We don't do that enough anymore. Every single enrollment should be celebrated. Because you know what that was? That was a closed sale. Someone actually did the job. Every single time there's an enrollment, someone made a sale. I think we should celebrate that more. I'll talk to my partner about that, because you should. I don't care if you only got one in your business or if you got 500 in your business in a month. You should be celebrating every one, because nothing happens until they become until they say yes. I'm honored to get to sell the things I know people need. Brilliant, Coco. Oh my gosh. I'm honored. I am privileged. Oh my gosh, so cool, so cool. Yeah, thank you, Coco. Thank you, Danette. It is just so cool. I'm honored to get to sell things to people that they need. We're not selling, stuff that they don't need. We're not. Actually, there's not a product. Every time it's interesting. Every time someone talks to me about some more powder that I've never heard of before, and I'm going, what the heck? Then all of a sudden, you get 50 people that say, I use this every day. I go, what? And it's because every single thing that we sell, someone is using. I will tell you that Young Living is also a business. And that means when someone doesn't buy it, they eventually will do away with it. I'm not kidding. They understand what they're doing. So if no one wants this particular oil or this product at all, eventually it goes by the wayside. So whenever we keep something for around, it's because somebody's buying it, someone's using it. Yeah, I do too. I agree, Mary. I think we should celebrate not just sales, but also brand partners too. And especially when it's your first one. When your brand partner is your first sale, oh my gosh, it's such a big deal. I know we used to do that. I remember when your team was small, we used to do that. Like when someone signed up and they get their first sign up, we used to go nuts over it. We just don't do that as often as we should anymore. And we should. All right, let me pause. You guys have been an unbelievable and fantastic audience. Thank you so much for getting a chance to sell to you. And I just hope that we get a chance for you to be top salesman of the year. Oh, I'm sorry, isn't that what we do, right? Every time we have one of these trips, you were the top salesperson. Sorry, that's the way. That's what that means. You have the most enrollments. You have the most sales. Oh my gosh! And there is nothing better than going on that trip. You're the top salesperson. I know we're going to be the top distributor, top business people, all the different phrases, but you're the top salesperson. And let me tell you, that is, in my book, the biggest honor you could do. Bless you all, and happy selling in February. And let's just go sell this thing all the way through convention in June.